All right, it's a little bit later in the day, and I am shifting a little bit of a focus here. I have another thrift haul to share, and I also wanted to share just a simple quick fix on a chair that I got a couple days ago at Goodwill. So first, thrift haul. So like I had said in a previous video, my church had a yard sale. The youth had a yard sale. It was fantastic. And I picked up a bunch of things that I just had to have, of course. And so I want to share with you some of the pieces that I got from there. To start, I got these two floral frames. Now, they're not crazy age-wise. They're not, they might be 20 years old, but you can kind of tell from the backing here. It's nothing crazy. Like, I didn't pay like antique prices for these. These were $2, so $1 each. And the reason that I got these floral prints is because on our house, we have a little shed that was converted by the previous owners into a guest house with electricity and air conditioning and heat. It has a beautiful window in it. And we use it for when we have guests visiting. It's very small. It's literally a converted shed. So what I have in there is I have a day bed and I have a futon that opens up to a full bed. So it does comfortably sleep 3. It could even sleep 4. But I decided a couple of months ago that because it is a shed, although it doesn't really look like one anymore, but I'll give you a tour someday, that I wanted to turn it into almost like a garden cottage feel. So the theme in there is chintz and like antique flowers. So I was really excited to see these. I picked them up immediately, and these will be hung in our guest cottage, which is good because we have guests coming next week. And on that note, and these are really dusty. I literally just took them in from my car from the yard sale. More floral prints. These are definitely not antique whatsoever. These are actually from Hobby Lobby. I would say maybe 15 years ago, about that. But I bought them at the yard sale and I paid $1 each. More prints. And something else for the cottage, along with that garden theme. This little birdhouse. It's going to go out there. It's vintage, nothing crazy. 10 cents. Had to have it. I think it will be just a cute addition for some decor. It must have previously been at an antique shop or in somebody's booth. And even then it was $4.99. So I wouldn't have paid $5 for it, but for 10 cents and supporting my church, of course, I think I gave $1, but super cute. Can't wait to add that into our little cottage back there and make it cozy. And the last of that haul was, again, not an antique, but it certainly looks vintage. It's actually a little candle. And it's not 2 pieces, it's 1, even though it does look like it's just a cup and saucer. It's a little smaller than your average coffee cup, but I love the blue. I love the blue. It's more of that French country kitchen. I'm not sure where this is going to go yet, but I loved it, had to have it. There was actually a pink one as well, and I bought both of these. I think they were $2 for both. So again, it was $1 each. I kept the red or the pink one on my desk at work, and I took the blue one home. So very cute. Then another amazing thing happened, and that is when we bought this house, my father was so gracious and brought me to a furniture store, and I picked out some staple pieces that we needed, because when we moved across the country, we literally took the smallest moving truck that we possibly could, and I ended up selling and donating a lot of my housewares and all of our furniture, actually. We didn't even bring mattresses. So the only thing we packed into the truck was things that we couldn't replace, like photos or handmade quilts or things that were given us that were sentimental that we wanted to take with us. And the kids, of course, brought like their favorite toys and that kind of thing. But we, it was about the size of a covered wagon. So we came across country and seeking new life. And so we really pared down to the basics. So when I got here, this home that we purchased is about 1,000 more square feet than our first house that we had. We lived in a very small ranch, which I loved, and it served its purpose. But when I got here, I was really excited to have a bigger space, especially because my children are growing. And so I've really, for the past year and a half, had so much fun piecing together and creating my home. And again, when I tell you little budget, I mean, I really am thrifty. And if you go back to one of my other videos, I spent $40 on a vintage bowl, and that is the most expensive item I have ever bought for this house. So that just kind of tells you. And I'm still, as you could tell, I'm still like a little uneasy about spending that amount of money, but I keep telling myself I'll have it forever, and I truly will. I'll cherish it. On that note, the furniture that I bought out here with my dad a year and a half ago was my style then. Living here a year and a half, my style has drastically changed. I've gotten to know the house and the space, and after going with that farmhouse style, that minimalist style for so many years, I really wanted to fill this house with treasure pieces, not only as a reflection of the state and its history, but also of my family. So what you see in my house is a lot of collected pieces, things that were given to me from my grandparents who lived 2 streets over. My grandmother passed away in February of 2021, I believe it was, and we moved out here in July of 2021. So it wasn't that long after she passed away that we came out here. My grandfather is 92. He lives 2 streets away and is doing fantastic, and I see him all the time and help take care of him, and it's just been a huge blessing. But he was getting rid of some of his larger pieces, and I don't know if you can see it. This is a terrible view, but behind me you'll see a bookshelf cabinet, and I will do a whole other video on just that. But he made that himself without tools. Crazy. It's a crazy story. But I was so excited to get this huge, beautiful, one-of-a-kind piece when we moved out here. So I've just been kind of collecting pieces that I love. Back to the table I bought. It was very farmhouse. It had, I don't know what I was thinking. I have 3 children. The seats that came with it were this beautiful beige fabric seats. And there were 3 of them and a beautiful bench. Beautiful wood, dark wood bench. The table, I absolutely love. The bench, I absolutely love. The chairs have been a nightmare. They weren't well made, even though we paid a ridiculous amount of money for them, and just got broken. And children, hello, white seats, you know what happens. They're disgusting. Children are disgusting. I love them. They're disgusting. They wipe their hands on the fabric, and it just become very hard to clean. And so I decided a couple of months ago, after getting inspiration from other YouTubers, to leave the table that I love so much, that dark wood table and that beautiful long bench. But in terms of the chairs, I pulled them out. I still have them here. I'm going to keep them in the master bedroom. I threw a quilt over them. They look beautiful. But the chairs for dining, I decided that I'm going to find chairs that I love. I don't even care if they match. And I'm going to bring them in and put them at the table. And I've had a pretty hard time doing that because chairs are actually really expensive. So, to my great joy, a couple of days ago, I went to Goodwill, just down the street from here. I'm so lucky. We have great thrift stores. And there was this chair there. However, let me show you what the problem is here. There's a couple issues, right? And there was a really horribly ugly chair pad sitting on this chair. And I had seen it, and I said, I think it was like $4.99. And I looked it over and I thought, I don't know what I would do with the cover, with the seat. And I came back a couple of days later, and the seat was still there, and the color of the tag was half off. So it was, I don't know, $250, maybe, yeah, around there. And I had to have it. and I looked it up. I Google Lensed it, which has become my best friend. So this antique wooden chair, high back chair, they are going right now, depending of course on the condition, but between $300 and $500. I found one for $90, I believe it was on Etsy, but it was in worse condition than this one. So I grabbed it and I just said, we're gonna figure this out. I took it home, and even in the as-in condition, I put it at the table, and it just looks so beautiful. It is definitely an antique, just the way that it's made. I don't know what happened. I'm assuming at some point there was a wicker seat on here. That seems to be the style. And whoever previously loved it was creating another seat. You can still sit on it, I found out. Even though this is really, it's not complete at all, but I thought it still supports. I mean, my husband is a big guy. I wouldn't have him sit on it, but I can sit on it and my kids can sit on it. So I decided, really what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to weave a little bit more of the padding on the chair. I'm going to clean it up a little bit. And I made another splurge, and I found this chair pad, which happened to come today to my house. And it has that antique looking style, little farmhouse, a little bit, but cottage core. And this is literally what I'm going to do. I'm putting it on. It's a perfect fit. It looks gorgeous. It has the ties in the back, which I absolutely love. I'm actually wearing an apron right now, ties in the back. And guess what? That's done. $2.50. The chair pad was a little bit more. I think I spent $15 on it. But again, I'm looking for quality, and this chair is definitely quality. It's so well made. The wood is beautiful. So I didn't mind spending the $15 on a chair pad that is going to last. It's beautiful. I can throw it in the washing machine if I have the little fingers in my house right there, dirty hands all over the seat. And I'm just so happy with how that looks. We will make it a little sturdier, but really I'm not going to do much to it. So that was a really great find. The other thing I'm going to share with you are two other chairs I bought at the church yard sale. I paid $3 each per chair, so it was $6 per chair. They were this really funky color, and I hope I can, like I said, I'm new at this. I hope I can add a picture of before. They were like this bluish gray color, and it looked like somebody had tried to age them with maybe chalk paint. I'm not 100% sure. But they were wooden, not antique, but, the wood caught my eye. And I looked it over and I thought maybe I can repaint them. I brought them in, I put them at the table, and they didn't look too terrible in the state that they were in. I actually really kind of like the gray and the blues a little bit. And I kept them there for a couple of days, but I realized I really need to kind of tone down that color a little bit. It kind of threw off the table. I'm really looking for like the browns and the wood around that table. So I decided to take those chairs and paint them. And I put on one coat of paint. They're currently drying, actually right behind me over there. And I'm going to do the second coat of paint. And then once they're dry, I'll share how they look at the table. But again, just simple ways to, pull in new decor, solid, beautiful stuff that's going to last, and of course has a fun story to tell. So who doesn't love that? So thank you for joining me, and stay tuned for updates, and I will update you with pictures. Oops, I guess it's time to go. My phone's ringing. So thanks so much. Like, subscribe, follow.